They say love distracts you from success, but I'm here at 23 years old and a millionaire because of it. Now that this hook's done, I hope you guys are still here, and girls. Today I want to talk about how my 7-year relationship has kind of unfolded into this success with financial and just overall life. When you see things on social media now, everything is very much one or the other. Like it's like black and white. There's very few gray areas. And what I mean by that is you have like Andrew Tate and all these people saying, get the fast cars, don't care about money. And if it's girls, maybe the feminist acts are going too strong where you don't need a man and you could wear the pants and so forth. And I think this is causing kind of a massive dilemma in my own opinion. So grounding back with here, I want to start with kind of like my story and how this all kind of comes together in this concoction that works quite perfectly in my eyes. Now, I was born in Chicago, Illinois, and I was raised technically in Wisconsin. We, had a lot of ups and downs financially and all aspects. My biological father, I didn't even know was my father until, early high school. And once I found out, I wanted to meet him, and he passed away shortly after. So that was like a huge, shock in itself. Several, just one thing after another. Finding out my stepdad's not my real dad, then he passes away, and then I'm like, oh geez. I use that as motivation. Shortly after, I did meet the love of my life, Gwen, and around that time, we're still young. We're in high school, just starting out, and I was just kind of trying to shoot all of this adversity and whatnot away and just be a strong, independent man, but also still vulnerable enough to build this connection with someone. I wasn't trying to push away another individual just because I was enduring some sort of pain. I think that's where people go wrong. Don't connect with someone because you need them as like an escape and it's only for that, but have kind of this like moderation, just like anything in life. And then fast forward towards the tail end of high school, I want to start a business. And, my love was always supporting. She was always saying, let's hang out later if you got work to do. Let's do this. And that was inspiring because most of my friends, they're arguing, oh, I can't get away from my girlfriend. She wants to go to the movies, or I can't get away from my boyfriend. He wants to go to this football game or something. So I think having that very mature and confident discussions with each other of where you're at is utmost important to be able to not only get your goals, but achieve them together and grow together and not grow apart. So now that high school is coming to an end here, Gwen's with me when I literally am driving a $400 Jeep, and I'm not making this up. I bought it off my brother. He's a mechanic. He got a great deal, and the thing ran, and I'll show a pop-up here of how she looked. And I just always remember I'm driving around with Gwen on summer days that are 90 degrees. AC's not working with these they're comfy seats. This is one thing she always loves. She's like, those seats were the comfiest I've ever been in any car. So she has to give me that. Half the windows didn't even work. So we're just like a hot pocket in this thing, driving around summer days. That's when I was, just getting done with a lot of my landscape clients because I started with a landscape business, was my first business. And if you want to go even before that without worker's permit, I'm ripping lemonade stands. I'm going door to door when I was young, anywhere from 11 to 13, just handing out flyers to get the landscaping business afloat all the way into SMMA on the tail end of high school. And I thought I was the guy. I thought everything was going to be in my favor with SMMA. And what I mean by that is I'm picking up all these clients and I'm making more money than most of my teacher's salary in a month. And then I got humbled real quick. Times have changed, especially with COVID, in a good way for me. I made even more money because a lot of businesses were getting scared they were losing customer bases. So I was partnering up with a lot of companies like Eat Street and DoorDash and all that stuff, and that was great. And I'm like, man, I'm going to travel the world. I'm going to, get my mother some vacations and buy my mother another house or whatever it may or might be. And unfortunately, she did pass away 2022. And again, Gwen was still with me along this process. Most people in a relationship, when they experience a financial downside or even upside, they become very entitled in a way, and they change. I love the saying that money doesn't necessarily change a person, it just amplifies who they really are. And I'm very fortunate that I never experienced that with Gwen, and she stayed with me literally, like I said, when I'm driving a $400 Jeep, all the way to the opportunities and freedom that we have today. And I couldn't be more grateful. So not every relationship's like that. If you're a guy or girl, you might have someone that drags you down, maybe even emotionally and energy-wise. No, I don't feel like doing that or this or that. I just want to doom scroll on social media or watch a movie for the millionth time, and you might want to travel. I've never been scrolling on Tinder or Hinge or any of that. I literally have never even downloaded one of those apps. So, fortunately for me, I just had to focus on building a future for us, focusing on how we're going to have some like financial means for our future family. And when you think about these bigger problems and not just, hey man, let's just go drink and let's go party and find some girl to hook up with for a weekend and then just go on to the next. That doesn't get you anywhere. And when you do commit with someone, never trade a hotel for a home. Don't cheat. It's just as simple as that. Stay loyal, be good. And when you're a good person, things will happen. You might get hurt. There's that, it's just crazy stuff that I can't even name that will just be out there and happen. But for the time being, don't be anxiety. Don't be always questioning that your next relationship, he's the last one or the previous one cheated or something. Just have this belief. Just be a good person. Eventually emotions will at least happen. But regardless, anything can happen. You can stay single and you might not ever meet someone. You can be with someone committed and you might grow apart when you're 30 or 40. There is, the beautiful thing about this life is there's a finish line for all of us. We all have different starts and different races. Some people are in the 400 meter, some people are in the 100 meter, some people are playing football while the other people are just being, Picasso painting something. That's the beautiful thing. It's not a race for everyone. It's not a system for everyone, and so forth. But other than that, inevitably what this comes down to, the nugget to take away here is stay loyal, keep focused, and when you do that, all of this will kind of come into this thing of success. So as long as you have that discipline, that focus, and loyalty, everything's going to work out. This is with a relationship. This is with everything. And I couldn't be more grateful sitting here at my age, regardless of the adversities. I've met some of the greatest people that will be with me for my whole life and vice versa because of these, traits and attributes. But other than that, I hope this helps all of you in some way, whatever stage you are in life, or maybe you lived it. If you're older and you're in a relationship, tell me some tips or tricks. Maybe I'm naive, so we're all here to learn some more. And other than that, I couldn't thank all of you, more for listening and tuning in and watching wherever you are, whatever time it is. And I'll leave it off with thanks again, my friends, and until next time.